Okay, so today's video is what I would classify as an and more kind of video. What do I mean by that? Well, as you know, the name of my channel is the Save Money and More with Jan channel. This I would consider an and more topic. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on this channel, the Save Money and More with Jan channel. Today I want to talk about a few of the pearls of wisdom from my mom. It's not about frugality this time, although I could get into that on a future show. In addition to that, I'd like to do in the future a show of some pearls of wisdom from my dad as well. You know, even though they are not here any longer, they are still within my heart. I had great parents, and I oftentimes have said, even in private prayer, good Lord, if you had to pick a pair of parents for me, I am so grateful and thankful that you picked the ones that you did for me. And I mean that from the depth of my entire being. So if you have parents that are no longer and you're missing them, extract the good stuff that they taught you. And I'm telling you, it's going to bring a smile to your face. Many, many times we don't realize the pearls of wisdom that our parents have left behind. And if you're still blessed enough to have your mom and dad around at this time, clutch on to all the stuff and that they're teaching you even as a grown adult. You never stop learning. We never, ever stop learning. All right. So this is just, believe me, the cream of the crop, just the icing on the cake, if not just the cherry. My mom used to love cherries, but I love maraschinos the best. All right. So one of the pearls of wisdom is very simple. These are all simplistic, but really quite important. One is to be punctual, or better still, be a few minutes early. I think my mother had a rule of thumb of being at least 15 minutes early. You don't have to be an hour early unless you feel like it, but at the very least 15 minutes early to arrive at an appointment, okay? At the very least, okay? Medical appointments perhaps allow even more time than that. But in general, in life, like you're meeting up with a friend, show up a few minutes early, or other types of appointments. I'm just saying. So that definitely stuck with me. Punctuality was huge, not only with my mom, but with my dad. He was a big stickler about being punctual. Okay. I was never late for school. In the history of going to school, I was never late for work. In the history of going to work when I worked for other people. And I also show up on time for myself. I'm just saying. All right. Next. This is very important. And I see a lot of people, well, probably skipped on this one, but this is really important. We were taught to respect our elders. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Disrespecting elders, it was a huge, and still is, a huge no-no. No such thing. We did not ever disrespect our elders. Period. There was no room for it. Non-negotiable. End of story. Okay. So respect your elders, respect authority figures like your teachers. This is what my mom and dad taught us. Okay. You may agree with it. You may not agree with it. That's fine. I'm just sharing with you what I was taught by two wonderful people. Respect your elders, and for example, give up your seat on the bus. I can't believe there's actually a little sign. I don't know if they still do that. Actually, a little sign on certain seats that you have to tell people to please give up the seat, that seat on a bus for someone disabled or someone, elderly or whatever. I can't believe we actually have to read this. Wow. Okay, well, that's the way it goes. The next thing is pray often and be thankful always. Very solid advice there. Pray often and be thankful always. Not always going to get what we pray for, but we can always be thankful for what we have. Think about that. We have to always let that sink in, okay? Pray often and be thankful always. Yep. Pearls of wisdom, pearls of wisdom. Next, this one I briefly touched upon in a prior video, but it makes a whole ton of sense. Some people don't like it. Some people like it. Some people do it. Some people don't do it, and that's fine. That's what makes the world, right? Everybody's different. But I was taught the answer, if I wanted something, I whined, cried, and complained about it, stomped my feet as a little kid, for example. Was it always going to be a yes because I knew how to whine, cry, and complain? No. No. My mom and my dad at times said, sorry, Jan, not this time. Not this time. And I feel looking back that they gave me a gift beyond gifts, where a lot of other people, they can't stand to hear the kid whine, cry, and complain. So they appease. It sounds good for the moment. And you think like your best friends and everything and best buds. My parents were not my buddies. My parents were my parents. There's a difference. Now, a lot of people may disagree with that way of thinking. I knew I could always go to them, but I didn't treat them like my best bud, like my friends. They were my parents. That's the way I learned. That's the way they were taught. Would I change it? No. I was happy with that. You're my parents. I'm just saying. I didn't hang out with my parents. I hung out with my friends. There's a difference. Okay. Um, but that's the way I think. And everybody's different. Everybody could feel their own way. But I'm sharing what I was taught. All right. My mother was big on this. Give instead of loaning when possible. When instead of lending things, give. If somebody's in need, they ask you to lend them something. My mother was like, well, isn't it better to just give them a little bit of that something? They don't have to worry about paying it back. I mean, if they're in such a need. And I used to get a little frustrated because they said, but Mom, why is this person or that person or more than one person always seem to come to me? Always me. I used to get frustrated with that. I used to get annoyed with that after a while because there was one specific person that did that a lot. But my mother turned around and she said, well, put it this way. Don't you rather be the person that's able to do it than the person that needs it? Ah, 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 ah. Pearls of wisdom, pearls of wisdom. So that shut me up for a while. I miss you. All right. Next, do quiet acts of charity or kindness. In other words, be sort of an elf on a shelf. I know a few elves on shelves. They don't know that I figured them out. That's all I'm saying. I believe that I have a few elves on shelves in my life. I figured them out, and because they were taught the right way. For example, do quiet acts of charity. Kind acts should not be announced. I agree. I agree. That's actually a great principle to be taught. So my mother says, if you do something kind, you don't make a big to do over it. That ruins the whole gesture completely. Just do something kind and go forward. Just do something kind and don't make a big announcement out of it. In fact, there was an episode, I don't know if you remember it, on I Love Lucy. Remember that show? Who could forget I Love Lucy, right? I forgot the specific reason why, but Lucy came to the defense of her best friend and neighbor and landlord, Ethel Mertz, right? And she did this act of kindness, and she went around, meaning Lucy, telling the whole world this act of kindness that she did for her friend Ethel. It got so ridiculous and obnoxious that even Ethel was getting fed up with it. It sounded like a broken record. It sounded like a crazy routine. If a person's going to do this random act of kindness or charity, that's not to be announced. That's what I was taught. You know what? I tend to fully agree with that. Just be that elf on a shelf and go forward, and God bless all the elves on shelves that have ever been in my life. I just want to let you know that I kind of figure some of you out. In case any of my friends or family happen to be listening. Elves on shelves, love ya, thinking of ya. Keep on being elves on shelves and doing random acts of quiet charity and kindness. That's the way it should be. But I want to let you know that sometimes people could figure it out. I'm just saying. All right. And Of course, I could go on and on and on for hours about the things my mother taught me. And who knows, I'll do another show like this in the future. But here's the last pearl of wisdom for this show. There will be more in the future. This is a really good pearl of wisdom. Do not brag. Mm. How come, Jan? Why shouldn't I brag? Well, I don't know. It's boastful. I don't know. There's just something about it. Also, you may be hurting the feelings of the listener. Do not brag about all you have. That person, we don't know the kind of life that person that one is bragging to is living. We don't know. Why would we want that person to feel badly about it? Whatever the good thing is that's in your life, which in my opinion, and this is what my mother taught me, just quietly be grateful. By the way, it's another pearl of wisdom. Gratitude. Have a grateful heart as well as a kind heart. Okay. But the bragging thing, I don't know. It just doesn't play out well, in my honest opinion. Who agrees with me? Let me know in the comment section below some of the pearls of wisdom that either a parent or a guardian or a teacher or some sort of influencing figure in your life has ever left behind for you. They may no longer be here physically present, or some are, but they may be no longer here, but they are with you. They have never left you. And I'm just so grateful to wear my pearls of wisdom. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I hope I didn't disappoint you by not doing a frugal show today, but we have over a couple of 3,000 of them. You could always check. And that's not bragging. That's a fact. I'm just saying. All right, everybody. Have an amazing, fantastic day. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe. And of course, super thanks are forever appreciated. Thank you.